What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show this week. I'm super excited to go over some of the signings from day 2, day 3 of free agency. I came at you super quick with a day 1 video. We missed some, but right now I'm basically just going to focus on some moves to make in Dynasty kind of post-free agent landscape. Obviously, there are still some moves that are going to happen, but this is just kind of as of right now, some moves I think could help you win your league next year and improve your team throughout the offseason. If you haven't been to the channel yet, please subscribe and like the video. It helps me out so much. I love coming at you guys with these videos, and I'm really trying to stay on track with 3 a week, so keep tuning in for the video. So today, moves to make. What's the first move we're going to go over today? How about trading for Diontae Johnson? Just moved to the Panthers, which I think is a pretty good move for Diontae. He is a very good route runner. He mostly ranks in the top 10 in kind of open routes run. It was a stat I was seeing on ESPN on Twitter going around the other day, which I really think is a good way to show how good of a route runner Diontae Johnson is. How about moving Romeo Doubs and a third? I think Doubs is a solid player, but I do feel he's kind of trapped in that Green Bay offense, especially with the addition of Josh Jacobs. So many very good players there. It may be hard for a single player besides Jacobs and Jordan Love at QB to succeed there. Mid-third, obviously, I don't want to give up for free, but I think with this sense, I don't think just Romeo Doubs gets it done here on KTC or just in a league in general, which is why I'm throwing the third on. And the second one here for Diontae Johnson, how about just 2/3, 3-2, 3-5? Go get yourself Diontae Johnson. I would expect his value to slowly rise throughout the offseason. Keep in mind, Adam Thielen had a very solid year last year with Bryce Young throwing him the ball. I think those short area targets are going to be very good for Diontae Johnson. And I just think he's going to be open, which is something that Bryce Young basically was not playing with last year. So I think that's going to be a breath of fresh air for the Carolina offense, especially with Canales coming over from Tampa Bay. I would expect a small resurgence from Bryce Young and just a slow improvement. He's still a good player, and I think Diontae Johnson is a very solid asset to put on the team around him. Wouldn't be surprised to see them take another wide receiver, but I think Diontae Johnson will have his role in that offense as kind of the man beater, the zone beater, getting open quickly for Bryce Young. Number 2 here, and this is your last chance, guys. Go finally trade Gabe Davis. It is time. You may have opened up another sell window here with that contract in Jacksonville. I mean, maybe they bring Ridley back, maybe they draft someone, or even if it's just Gabe Davis, the fact that the window is still open, just go save him. He is better for an NFL team than he is for your fantasy team. He's way too inconsistent. And I think if you're going to target this kind of player, I would just aim lower. If you want someone that's super inconsistent, it's going to have 3-4 spike weeks, go get Rashid Shaheed. You do not need Gabe Davis on your team. If you can get a 25 late second here like this, I mean, this is even saying Gabe Davis is worth more than that. I'm taking the deal. I would move Gabe Davis and just move him for someone that has a chance to grow into something on your team. I think Gabe Davis is what he is, and I really have no interest in having him on my team. Next move here, and this one is super tough, but it's just something I was kind of kicking around, is Jordan Addison for Nico Collins here. Now, it's tough. I do think Minnesota probably adds a quarterback in the draft, and things could totally work out for them. But when it comes down to it, I think Nico Collins, Jordan Addison, kind of part of passing offenses. And I think I would just rather have a piece of that Houston offense if I'm not getting the number 1 target there in Minnesota in Justin Jefferson. And, TJ Hawkinson will be back. And as much as I think Jordan Addison's a very good player, I do think he was helped by that high volume passing attack of Kirk Cousins. And I'm curious to see what happens in Minnesota this year, where I think if you could just laterally do this move, I think Nico Collins probably outscores Addison for the next couple years, unless something massive changes there in Houston or injury luck, whatever. Even though I do think Addison is a good player, and I'm not going to sell low on him, I just think there may be some 1-for-1 trades that you could look into if there's some players you like more, where Addison's age is still going to be an advantage for using him as a trade bait. And maybe you could do Addison plus for something even bigger. That would be a move I'd be willing to make as well. But I'm not saying sell Addison, but I think it's curious to kind of see what the market would be, because he is pretty hyped and he's still a very young player. And there's a lot of rebuilders that could use someone like Addison on their team. So if you're competing, I think you may be able to go get someone that's probably going to score more points for you moving forward. So last one here, I just think it might not be it for Justin Fields. I think I would be happy to take the first here in next year, this year's class, probably just move on and switch the assets. He totally could turn it around to become something. I just think for me, what I've seen with these NFL teams not wanting to trade for Fields, I don't really know if it's worth the risk for me to hold on anymore. And I think that is something that just worries me in general with a player like Fields at quarterback, is like they have value until they basically don't. And it can go very, very fast, as we saw for someone like Trey Lance, or as something that may happen to Kenny Pickett if and when he probably gets beat out by Russell Wilson, is these quarterbacks' values can go from first round to fourth round in what you're getting in your dynasty league. And I think this may be kind of the time to get out on Fields. We'll see what happens. I mean, he totally could go somewhere and be a very productive player, but a first round pick next year projected to be late. A, it doesn't mean it's going to be late. And B, you could at least use that asset to go get something else. And I think this may just be the safe and smart move with Fields here, is see what you get. And if you can get a first round pick for him, I think I would take it and just kind of play the waiting game with these picks and let them grow in value. Because I don't really know if Justin Fields is going to grow in value anymore in his career. Even if he signs somewhere, I don't really know what the ceiling will be, because people are always going to bring it back to this offseason and know the risk that he may not find another landing spot. So I think taking the first is the smart thing to do. So thank you guys for tuning in for this moves to make video in Dynasty. I think these are some moves you could get done this offseason that will really pay dividends for you in the 24 season. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to the video, like the video. Peace, guys, and have a good